I'll upload this this afternoon along with the other lessons we've done. So the way that this works is very simple. Is I'm gonna ask a question. I'm gonna give you a few seconds to think about it, but I want to try to as much as possible simulate what the final exam is going to be like. Um, and then I'll just call on somebody at random to answer the question, and then I'll help provide some feedback if that would be an acceptable answer, or if there would be some more I would ask of you. Yeah, Jason.
So I have a question regarding to this final.
Hmm.
Say for example, you gave us a question on Outlook. Would it be fine if we used the little search feature that we're given?
Yeah, yeah, that's totally fine. Yep.
Okay, because that's what I would do in the real job field as well. Like if I went to do a meeting, I would go into calendar and look up meeting in the search finder because it's a quick access.
Yeah, totally fine, totally acceptable. The biggest thing that I'm looking for, I think I probably said this yesterday, but if there's clear evidence that you can manage the space with ease, then you've answered the question correctly. What I look for is when people start to fumble around and clearly don't know what they're doing, then it's like, yeah, it's pretty clear you don't have a good grasp on this concept. Um, all right, let's go ahead and get started. So, first question I want to ask the group. I'll give you guys about 5 seconds to think about it. Then I'm going to call on someone at random to answer. What is file management, and why is it important to the workforce? I see all your hands. I'm going to call someone at random. Let's hear from. Who I want to hear from. Who I want to hear from enough in this class? How about Melvin? Melvin, what's file management and why is it important?
File management is when you organize all your files. For example, if you download something, you'll know like where it is at on your PC.
Mm-hmm.
And and what was the other one? You said how to do it?
No, why is it important in the workforce?
Oh, why is it important? Because in the workforce, you will have a lot of files, and you don't want to confuse one file with the other file because you don't want to submit like the wrong file to like a specific task.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great, excellent. Anything that anybody thinks they would add to Melvin's answer? If you were asked that question, you can raise your hand for this. Alan.
Hello, this is Alan. Um, for me, the biggest thing is the efficiency of it all. You don't want to have to scramble through all of your files to find one specific file. If you can compartmentalize everything to a folder, it'll make your life easier.
Yes, agreed. The biggest thing I'm looking for this question would be, what it is, which I think, Melvin's answer was perfectly fine. But really, the why is important. To what Alan said is the more interesting thing to me: efficiency, being able to find your files quickly and access them with ease helps make your life easier as a professional. Michael, would you add anything?
Yeah, I will add that, for example, for me, I like to do subfolders. Like
Mm-hmm.
for example, for the classes, I have a folder and also having a quick, I would say, name so that you can know where exactly it is. Like for example, for your class, I have the name for the class, and inside the folder have a subfolder which are the individual weeks for the classes and
Mm-hmm.
all the assignments together.
Great, awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Michael, last comment, and we're going to move on to the next question. We have a lot to cover.
Yeah, to piggyback on what Michael said, I would say that it will make you less anxious when you have to find something
Yeah,
from like a few weeks ago, and you might think that you lost the file, but it will make your life easier.
yeah, excellent. Yeah, thank you so much for sure. It reduces anxiety. All right, now for this next question, go ahead and prepare to demo this. I need everybody to make sure that they're doing this while we discuss it, because I'll be calling on people at random, and I want to see what your work looks like. So I want you to create a folder on your desktop and label it project management. So create a new folder on your desktop, label it project management. Give you about 10 seconds to do that. Give me a green check when you're good. All right. I see about half of you there. Now inside of that folder, place another folder and label that folder deliverables. And once you do that, give me a green check. So you get your subfolder. All right, now I'm going to ask Brian Muhammad to please share his screen and show me how you did this assignment, or this task rather.
Sure. So can I just redo it?
No, you can just tell me, explain to me what you did. That's fine.
So I just right clicked and I
Mhm.
went to new. I
Mhm.
clicked on folder,
Yep.
and then you can change the name,
Mhm.
and you wanted it project management. I opened it, and then at the top here, you can go to new folder and you can label it what you want.
Awesome. Yeah. Check to Alan. I can't focus because of the cute dogs. So yeah, if Brian got this question on the final, Brian would have got this question correct. So it's just, he was able to explain with ease of use how he did it. Very quick, very succinct. Excellent job. And if you have a different method of creating a folder and creating a subfolder, that's fine. Like I keep sharing, you know, as long as I can see that you know how to do it and explain it, you'll get the question right. Yeah, Jason.
Before we enter the room for the final, do you want us to have like up any program? For example, have a clean page of Excel, you know?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I would think that'd be a best practice to have Outlook, Word, PowerPoint, and Excel open. However, I don't want you to feel like you have to have it. That's going to be draining on your computer if you don't have the capacity to do that. But yes, it'd be a best practice to have. We allocate 10 minutes for your final. But as you're going to see, like what did we just do with you know, myself and Brian? I asked that question, he demoed it. That probably took about 1 minute. So you don't have to have that, but I would advise you to be best practice. Yes.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, Izzy.
Are we also going to get questions like that as well during the interview? So the question, like what you just asked about file management, are we also going to get questions like that during the interview?
I'm glad you asked that. Yes, you will. You'll get both knowledge questions. So like the question was, what is file management and why is it important? That's a knowledge question. You just answer it verbally. And you'll also be getting, you know, demo questions as well, like what I just shared. Open, like create a file, create a folder, call it this, put a subfolder, call it this. Now show me how you did it. The questions will be both. So like I shared, I have 30 questions in total that I'm going to draw from. Some of them are just going to be a really quick answer, and that will take 15 seconds, and others will take a little bit longer and be more involved. But it'll be both and. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Izzy. Thank you. Is that hand from earlier, Jason, or you have another question? All right.
You know, forgot to put my hand down.
I know
Sorry.
it happens to the best of us. All right. Okay, so please go ahead, folks, and get your Outlook on screen if you don't already have it open. I'll give you a second to do that. Once you have Outlook available, give me a green check so I know that you're good to go for what I'm going to ask you to do. Great, thank you. On your Outlook, create a recurring event to study with 3 peers of your choosing. The event will be on Friday at 2 p.m. I can go ahead and put that in the chat. And it's also going to run for 6 weeks. I'll put that in the chat so it's a little bit easier to know it's a number of steps there. Just give me 1 second to grab it. All right.
Sorry, did you give us a date, like on Friday or like Sunday?
This is on your
Free
Outlook.
Friday.
Create a recurring event to study with 3 peers of your choosing. The event will be on Fridays at 2 p.m. and run for 6 weeks. There you go. I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds to do that. I'm going to call on someone at random to show us how you did it.
How long does the event go for? Sorry for.
No, it's okay. I didn't specify. You can say 30 minutes. You can say an hour. I really just want to see that you know how to create an event, a recurring event. Yep. But we can just go ahead and say an hour. I'll just add that to my notes so eliminate this confusion.
Sorry, you said every Friday.
It's in the chat box. Yes, every Friday. All right, update it. 2 p.m. for 1 hour. Daniel, are you in a group or are you doing the individual interview?
Individual.
Okay, gotcha. That's so weird. I see you twice in the room. Are you calling from your phone as well, Daniel?
Yeah, because I don't have a camera for my PC, not right now.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks for
Yeah,
letting
so
me know.
just in case you called on me,
Mhm. I just want to confirm because I hate to say it, but sometimes people show up with fake names and cause trouble. Thankfully, it hasn't happened to us yet. All right, Eli, go ahead and share your screen and show us how you created a recurring event in Outlook, please.
All right, let me share my screen. Okay, I believe this is. Can you see that?
Yep.
All right, so right there, I put starts Friday 4/16. I don't know if you can see that at 2 p.m. And oh, it didn't even go through. Wait. Oh, I think it's the wrong one. Sorry, hold up. Okay, I can just show you while I'm doing it. I don't know why it's not pressing it. I pressed reoccurrence. There you go. Okay. Oh yeah, it shows here. Okay, so Friday starts at 4/16 and it finished Friday 5/28. That's the 6 weeks from 2 p.m. to 2 p.m., which is hour. You press OK. And I don't know why it says to year up, but and to be honest, I could just pick anyone. Boom, and I say Chandler, and then boom, and then let's say I say Davian, and boom, and then I'll just send it.
Okay. Yep. Great. Yep. The only thing so for this particular question, I'd have to give you partial credit because the subject should be, it's a study group. Yeah. So as opposed to putting like the infraction thing, I'd put change it to a study group, because if I received an email from you about an infraction, I'd be like, wait, what is this about again? So.
No, I think that was there from before, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's why we're practicing, but I don't want to. I'm not trying to be like hyper nitpicky here, but I also want to make sure that when you see the instructions that you look through and get as clean and clear as possible. So excellent job. You showed us how to create a recurring calendar invite. You invited 3 of your peers. You had it at the right times, but yeah, just ensure that when you have the actual final, that everything is makes sense. So thank you so much. Eli, Audrey, do you have a question?
I do. It's just that I don't see it, or I just don't understand. But in mine, it doesn't appear like the end time that for me to put it. So then I don't know, because I can put the start, but it doesn't appear like the end.
That's it. Are you using the website for Outlook, the web app?
Yeah.
Okay, so Megan has volunteered to show what it looks like on the app. So Megan, do you want to share your screen and demo that for us?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So the subject is study group. I invited Audrey, Izzy, and Diane, and then I put it from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. So to repeat the meeting, I went to every week, and then I went to custom, and I just started from this Friday, and I counted 6 weeks down to May 14th.
Yep.
And then save that, and yeah, it should show you every Friday for 6 weeks that will be repeated.
Awesome. Before you close that, Audrey, is that helpful? Do you see this same thing, or is it different for you?
I'm going to do it right now.
You're gonna do what? You're gonna change it right now? Or you want to share your screen right now?
I can share. I was going to try it, however, like she was doing.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So,
Did I share or no?
yeah, go ahead and share. Let's take a look at what you're seeing.
Okay, so I did that, and then she clicked here, was it?
Down, wait,
Here?
yeah.
Oh, custom,
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
Then you just count 6 weeks of Friday, the start date, which would be.
Is the 14 you put?
Well, you have to go up and then click the 16th, this Friday.
Yep, right there. Starting this Friday. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But
you want to recur it every Friday until.
Yeah, and then go to May 14th, Audrey.
Okay.
Because you have to click that to end it.
Yeah, that's where you end it, exactly.
Okay.
Yep, there you got it. Perfect. Hold on a second before you close this, Audrey. So that everyone can see study event, 3 colleagues, starting on Friday, 2 to 3, ending on May 14th. Like this would be 100% right here. Like this is what I'm looking for. So thank you, Audrey. Thank you also, Megan. Maria, did you have a question or?
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to say that on mine, the ending date, it shows differently. I don't know if it's like I'm doing right.
I'm having the same issue. Like my end date is like it's like my Outlook recognizes that I'm making an event for 6 weeks, but then it's telling me that the end date is October 16th, but everything else is correct.
Okay, so we just saw Megan demo it. We just saw Audrey demo it. Can someone else demo how to make sure it ends at 6 weeks on the app?
I mean, I already have it done. It's just that the date it shows differently. For mine, it's on May 21st.
But did you have it for this Friday? Is the very first time you guys
Yeah.
meet? And you put it, but how'd you get May 21st? Did you count 6 weeks?
Because it says it says end after 6 occurrences, and then that's the day it gives me, like automatically it counts.
Okay, let me see your screen. Pull that up for me.
Sure. Right there. So you see here, I can select end by and pick whatever date, or I can just pick end after 6 occurrences, and okay, and it automatically gives me on May 21st.
Okay. Yeah, I mean this is fine too. So I think what might have happened if Megan counted 6 weeks but didn't include the. I don't know how that happened. Let me see.
I mean that.
Yeah.
That's just my only question.
I mean, listen, you're not going to be graded on how many, what you just showed me is what I'm looking for. So yeah, that's fine. But I'm not going to sit here and double check Outlook and make sure that was actually 6 weeks and not 5, or 6 weeks and not 7. You put 6 occurrences, so you're fine. All right, let's keep moving on. I want to make sure we have enough time to get through everything. Next question I'm going to ask you is, or could I potentially ask you, is you're now moving into your internship, and you want to add the company that you work for to your email signature. So what I want you to do is go to your email signature in Outlook, and I want you to change year of participant to year of intern at the name of a company of your choosing. All right. So go ahead. I'll give you 30 seconds to do that. Yeah, Jason.
How accurate do you want our signature to be? Like, do you want it to have the address?
Thank you for asking, Jason. Just the name. Just Salesforce.com, Google, Facebook. That's all you got to put. I just want to make sure you know how to change your signature.
Excuse me. You said Europe intern and then just any place that we're choosing.
Any place you're choosing, correct?
Copy.
Yep. Give you guys 10 more seconds. Give me a green check when you're done. All right, looks like we got a quorum. Brandon Maxwell, please share your screen and show us how you did it.
So 1 second.
Yep, no problem.
So you want me to start from the beginning or share?
No, nope. You can just show me this and.
Okay, so yeah, I just went to Outlook and I went to manage settings and compose and reply. And here you can see the signature section is here. So I just edited year of participant to year of intern at Google.
Great. So that was all I needed to see. Clearly, Brian knows how to do it. He did it very quickly. So you can go ahead and discard that. And everybody should discard that. Don't save it because you don't know where you're going to intern yet. But just want to make sure that you know how to change your signature. All right, let's move on to the next question. This is about Word. So we spent a little bit of time in this class talking about business documents. These are things like contracts, meeting minutes, employment agreements, etc. My question, this is a knowledge question. What are some best practices when it comes to composing business documents? What are some things you want to make sure that you do to make sure it's the best it can be? Matthew, I saw your hand first.
So in terms of business documents, you always want to make sure you proofread before sending in anything. Make sure you follow a specific format that's required of your company, meaning any sort of fonts that they use specifically. You want to make sure everything's aligned neatly.
Yep, excellent. What I love what Matthew said is he talks about making sure the fonts are clear, everything's aligned. He also said you spell check, you make sure all that's tucked away. Very important. Joshua, what would you add?
I was gonna add make sure that you have like a proper formatting. So like you don't want to have like too big fonts or your like Word or like in a weird signature based font. So like that's what we're looking at.
Definitely. I mean, those really the answers I'm looking for. Just want to make sure that you have knowledge that when you're creating a formal business document, that it's formatted, that the font is clear, it's easy to be read, that you do spell checking, very, very important. A lot of people for the Google sites, there's a lot of spelling errors on their Google sites. Always make sure you go back and comb through it again, make sure everything is tightened up. Always helpful to have an extra set of eyes as well. Look at it if you're uncertain. But those are some of the things I'm looking for. So thank you. Let's go over to PowerPoint, and then we'll spend the rest of our time talking about Excel. So someone can raise their hand for this. If someone is mentioning a theme in PowerPoint, what are they referring to? A theme. Sikander?
It's the style of the PowerPoint slides. So they all will follow a certain theme if you select a theme.
Exactly. It's the style of the PowerPoint presentation, its colors, its fonts, it's all that. And you want to make sure, and I'm glad Sikander brought this up, that you follow a theme when you're creating a PowerPoint in the workforce. That's not just random colors, random fonts, but that requires some level of consistency. Excellent. Joshua, is that hand from earlier, or do you have a new question or comment?
Oh, sorry, it's from earlier.
No problem. All right, we got about 20 more minutes left. I want to make sure we allocate enough time to Excel because this seems to be what trips people up. And if you're going to get one question wrong, it's probably going to be this one. So go ahead and pull up your Excel spreadsheet. I'll give you guys a few seconds to do that. A blank spreadsheet. I'm going to go ahead and give you a opportunity. Try to copy and paste the question. There we go. All right. In Excel, put the number 100 into cell A1, number 200 into cell A2, and a formula for the sum of cell A1 and A2 into cell A3. Then highlight the cell in yellow. Give me a green check when you're done. All right, I'm gonna give you guys about 10 more seconds, and then I want to I'm gonna call on somebody cold to share the screen. How about Diane? Are you with us, Diane?
Yeah.
Are you able to share your screen with us?
Yeah. Could you see it?
We can see it. Yep.
Okay. So basically what I did, you said put 100 in A1 and 200 in A, so A2. And then what I did was I equal sign, parentheses, I dragged and close parentheses. Oh wait, just had it. And then it's closed, right? I'm not mistaken. I don't know why it's doing that now.
No, it's okay. So what you're doing is you're putting what is the through. You should be putting a different formula in there. You should be putting the sum formula.
And yeah, sorry. Yeah. 200.
Great, thank you. Now that was the first part of the question. Now the second one was highlighted it in yellow. How do you do that?
How do you even get to that point? Do you want just the 300?
Just the 300. Yep.
There.
Great, thank you. Okay. Yeah, so looks like we got some people asking questions. Is somebody else who wants to demo how to do this for people who are struggling a little bit here? How about Amir? We haven't heard from you yet this morning. Can you go ahead and demo how you get this sum?
Gladly.
Thank you, sir.
I'm good here.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I inputted the things, the numbers, and I just dragged them down here. I went to my formulas bar, in my tabs, and I just clicked on auto sum. And I did that instead of actually using the bar here.
Great. And do us a favor, Amir, if you don't mind, since it seems like you have some proficiency. Can you go ahead and do the exact same thing from the beginning, but do it in the C column so that people can just get a visual for it? And there it is. So somebody asks, like, can I use the auto sum button? Like, of course, as long as you can get what we're looking for, that's what matters. And Claire, do you have a question or do you want to show your screen?
I actually have a question.
Yep.
So how do you know in terms of Excel, how do you know when you're using like addition or subtraction, multiplication, division? Because it's just saying sum. That's not saying like, you know, like how do I know that if they ask like 2 + 2, how do I know they want the answer 4 and don't want the answer 0? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Does anybody want to help and Claire out? Like, what does sum mean? Anybody know? Yeah, Alan.
Hey, this is Alan. So sum is just the answer to an addition problem. So whenever they're asking to add two things together, they want the sum. That's the simplest way to think about it. In terms of the other things, typically they'll the function will either have the name of the product, like the end goal, and the answer of the problem, or you can legit just type in and look for that formula in the formula bar.
Yeah, sum is all like, for example, like, yes, Sikander, do you want to add something?
Did I
Yeah,
chime
I
in?
mean,
Oh, sorry. No, you're good.
Matthew can go first. Yes.
No, I was gonna just piggyback off what Alan was saying. By default, auto sum always does an addition problem. So you can also go in the formula bar to change what computation you want to do. So if you want to do multiplication, you go in the functions tab and you can add a multiply sign between the two cells, or you can add a division sign in that sense if you want to do that. But by default, it's always addition.
Yeah, and if the question's asking for sum, it's always going to be addition. You know, if they're asking for the sum of, you know, these 4 or 5 numbers, it's going to be, but then if they ask you for the difference, then you would subtract. There's no way you would ever do 2 minus 2 when they're asking you for the sum.
Okay, I think I get it now. You guys explained it really well. So whenever it says sum, they want us to do addition, and then when it's different, then and then to piggyback what Sikander, what you just said, when they say difference, they want us to do subtraction.
I mean, they wouldn't ask you to do difference. Like they would, like the difference is probably going to be between one cell to another cell. It's not going to be more than 2 cells most of the time. It'll depend on the question, but whatever they're asking you for sum, it's going to be addition. It's not subtraction.
Okay, thank you.
Jason, do you have an additional comment?
If you need to, and it's just like a little bit of numbers, feel free to just add a plus sign between the 2 cell boxes. For example, like I put in the chat, you can do A1 plus A2. It'll give you the same result as what they're saying.
Eric, is it possible to have Jason share his screen so you could show what he's just said?
Well, you can ask. Yeah, you can ask Jason. Yeah, as long as he's comfortable with that.
Is that okay, Jason?
Yeah, no problem. So for example, if we got 100 here, we get 200 here. What you can do here is you can just do C1, our highlighted cell, which will show, and then you just do the addition symbol for C2. It'll give you the same result. If you wanted to multiply it, you could do the same, just as long as you know what cell you're trying to tamper with. However, for this one, it wouldn't be X for multiplication, it'd be a star. So you can also use the symbol if you want to do anything.
Copy. Okay, I think I get it. I get it now. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
No problem.
Well, I'm glad you bring it up, Clark. This is kind of the magic, so to speak, of Excel. I mean, you can literally figure out anything. It's pretty cool. So, Sikander, is that hand from earlier? Did you have a new question or comment?
Sorry, it was from earlier.
No problem. Amir?
Yeah, also with the drag and drop function that I showed, you can, if you go to your formula bar, you can still use that auto sum feature and just change the semicolon to any feature, whether it be addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division using the correct sign.
Exactly. I mean, that's a really cool thing about Excel. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my workbook quick. So you can see mine here. So like if I had 100 and I put negative 200, like 200 here, and then I want to do auto sum. That's what Amir demoed for us. But the other cool thing is like, what if I wanted to do the average 150? So the average of those two numbers. What if I wanted to do count how many numbers there are? There's 2 numbers there. It's just you could just have fun with this. What's the max number? 200. I mean, this is seems like sort of trivial when you only have 2 cells, but what do you do when you have thousands of cells or tens of thousands of cells? It's a really quick way to figure it all out. But sum, yes, to answer your question, is always going to be, adding them together. And of course, the beauty of Excel, let's change that 200 now to 100. This automatically changes and populates. So you could do it either way, whichever you're most comfortable with. But really, guys, when it comes to the final, I'm just making sure that there's proficiency and that you can do it with ease. One last thing I just wanted to share with you guys before we wrap up this study session. Is that there's 5 questions, 1 question for each unit, and there's 3 different ways in which you can be scored. The first way to be scored is you receive what's like the letter. I use the color red, which basically means like you did not complete this task. All right. So if I ask you how to do something and you clearly just I don't know how to do this, you get a red. That's 0 points. All right. You can get a yellow, and that's like I partially completed it. So for example, like suppose you did the recurring calendar invite and you didn't have an end date. You did it for like the indefinite amount of time. You're going to have a 2 p.m. study session with your colleagues. You would get a yellow for that because you created the calendar invite, but you didn't do it completely. You get partial credit. You get 10 points for that. And if you do it perfectly, which almost everything we saw today demoed was perfectly, you get a green on that. You got it perfect. You got 20 points. So 5 questions. The max you can get for each question is 20 points. If you partially complete it, you get 10 points. If you just clearly could not complete it, you get 0 points. It makes you guys feel good about yourselves, which you should. Most people who do this interview style exam get 80% or plus. Most people, if they're going to fumble, they fumble on the Excel portion. So I would encourage you, if that's a weak spot for you, to really dial that in and hone that in between now and the time that you have your interview. For our last 10 minutes, we'll do some Q&A, and then we'll send you guys off to your next class. Yeah, Jason?
I'm gonna assume that each question is about 2 minutes min-max time.
Yes, that's a very good question. So we'll assume we'll allocate 2 minutes for each. And some will be more, some will be less, but actually, you know what? Very few will be more than that. Some might be very quick. For example, like the business documents or like a contract with meeting minutes, employment agreements, etc. What are best practices for a business document? Spell check, formatting, readable font. I mean, you can answer that question in 15 seconds. Okay, great. You get a green, 20 points. Let's move on. Also, people like to ask this because people are curious. Will I find out my grade as soon as I'm done? If you want to find it out right as soon as you're done, you can just ask, say, hey, what did I end up getting? And I can tell you. But I'm telling you guys, nobody here will get below an 80. You guys are going to do fine. Just have your stuff dialed in and you'll do just fine. Yeah, Alan?
Hello, this is Alan. So random question. Do we have to have cameras on while we're doing this, or because we're screen sharing, we don't have to?
I'm glad you asked that, Alan. No, I'm not going to have my camera on. You're not going to have your camera on because you're going to be screen sharing and I'm going to be grading. So,
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. And also, I find with some students, it's too much on their bandwidth to have their video on, plus trying to screen share. So it's just keep it simple. So we'll say hi to each other, with our images, and then we'll go ahead and jump into it. Good question. Khadija?
Yeah, I just wanted to know if we're all going to have the same questions or you're going to mix it up.
No, there's 30 questions in total, and I'll be giving them to you at random. So nobody will have the same final. Everyone's final will be different.
Okay, thanks.
Jason?
If we have a lot of time, will you ask a 6th question for like extra credit or so?
No, we won't do that. So if you finish your final early, then you'll have, extra few minutes in your day.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions on this, guys? All right. Let's do this. It's 11:37. I'm going to go ahead and let the breakout room know that I'm going to bring them back into the main room in 2 minutes. Feel free to go ahead and use the bathroom, get a cup of water, do what you need to do. And at 11:40, I'll share some closing announcements, and then we'll call it a class. All right.
Eric, I'm sorry, what are we supposed to be doing?
We're on break. He said you're stepping away for a moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
thank-
till 11:40.
Thank you.
All right, guys, just some quick closing announcements before we wrap up today's class. Let the rest of the group come in. If you can be on camera, that'd be very helpful. Last minute housekeeping things. Tomorrow there is no intro to computers. All right, so I'm going to be out of the office. There's no class for me. Utilize that time to study. Utilize that time for those of you doing the team presentations to get together and prepare. But there's no class for me tomorrow. I'll be out of the office all day. I'll be back on Friday. So if you guys have anything pressing, please make sure that you reach out to me via email, and I'll get back to you on Friday. A reminder that the second edition of your Google site is due tomorrow night. That's the page about Year Up, what Year Up is, and what Year Up means to you. That's due tomorrow night. Next week we'll begin our finals. So Monday we hear the presentations, which I'm very excited about, and then Tuesday and Wednesday are the interviews, and then that's it for Intro to Computers. So you guys did it. This is the last formal class. Very much enjoyed being with you. You will have me next mod for project management. So don't worry, you're stuck with me for 7 more weeks. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you, getting to know you, and continuing to invest in your development and getting to know what your goals are and how we can support one another to achieve those goals. So any final words for our last 2 minutes before we say goodbye to our colleagues in this particular class?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Short,
thank you.
to the point. Jesus?
Good question. Will everyone like that's here also be in like the next class with you, or is it gonna be rearranged?
Nope. This as far as it stands right now, we will all be together for project management as well. Yep. Oh, and before I forget, very important detail. This happened last class. It stinks when it happens, but if you don't show up for your interview or you don't show up for your team presentation, there is no makeup exams in Europe policy. So just letting you guys know, we had a student last class who just slept through his exam and got a 0 on it and unfortunately failed the class. And I felt really bad about that, but it happens. So please, please, please be responsible, show up to your time. If you have a family emergency or a crisis, reach out to myself, reach out to your program manager, let us know, but please be sure to be here on time. Yeah, Lauren?
It'll be the same Zoom link, right?
Correct. Same Zoom link as always. for Monday's class, and then also for your interviews. All right. Well, everybody, have a restful weekend and enjoy your studying. And I will see you all Monday morning at 10:30. Take care.
Same, bye, Eric.
Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
All right, take care.
Take care.